Welcome back to Access Anime. I'm Henshin Ikeda, and today I'll be doing a walkthrough review of Btooom Episode 8. Now, if you remember from last episode, we see Musashi. He's actually teamed up with Natsume, and they've actually taken Himiko. Now, they actually assumed that Sakamoto's been terminated because he fell off the building structure all the way down the cliff, so they're under the assumption that he's dead. And Tiara, well, he's weak, and they didn't even kill him, which I thought was kind of funny. I would have taken his crystal, but he is bleeding from his hand, so at least they did some type of light destruction. Now we are taken to a different building. Again, we see Musashi and Natsume. They're actually torturing Himiko, not killing her yet, giving her a slow death. Now Sakamoto isn't dead. He actually ends up going after Himiko, and Tiara is now lost it, and he's given up on everything since Sakamoto is about to leave him. So that's kind of, I didn't think Tiara would break down that quick, but he has. Now again, Sakamoto has found Himiko. They're at Musashi and Natsume's headquarters, a little abandoned building, and now we're having an interesting cat and mouse little fight. Now obviously Natsume's he's dead. He's been defeated, so that's one guy that's out of the picture, out of the game. Now as for Himiko, she's been free. She's with Sakamoto, and we actually find out Musashi wants a duel with Sakamoto, and it has Himiko in her hands. He's actually holding her hostage until, Sakamoto comes out of hiding. Now when he does, he goes for the knife, and not the best move, because Musashi is good with hand-to-hand, knife, you name it. Now, I wasn't expecting Himiko to actually take out Musashi. She kind of hit him, just so Sakamoto could escape with her. And they escape, but you see a toxic little, one of the BIMs, and you see the whole area being filled with that toxic gas. They managed to escape, kind of, but you see Musashi, he's now disfigured and dying, reaches out and grabs one of the characters, and just before you think that character is going to be pulled down and slaughtered, a little BIM drops down, which belonged to Natsume, and takes out Musashi, and that's the end of Musashi. So there's no more Musashi, and there's no more Natsume. They've both been defeated. But that was last episode, and this is a new episode, so let's dive right in. And again, I'll keep my final thoughts, my rating at the end of the clips, so stay tuned. But let's dive right in. Now, we open up with Himiko's flashback, so not exactly where we started off last episode, but we see Himiko, she's having a flashback of Sakamoto playing Btooom, like their whole relationship that was online. And I thought, okay, we as the viewers, we know she is the Himiko that's actually in the Btooom game. But as for Sakamoto, he has no clue. Just pointing that out there. Now again, we do see Himiko and Sakamoto. They are outside after we're done with this little flashback, and we see Sakamoto with 3 crystals in his hands, plus what he has on his left hand. So that's 4 crystals he has. So that's kind of interesting. Definitely interesting. Got to keep up to date with all these crystals he's got, as well as how many Tiara's gonna have. But I'll get to that later. Moving on. Now we are introduced to 2 more characters. Yes, 2 more characters. And one of the characters, she looks pretty cute. Her name is Kinoshita. She looks like she's French, but she's not French. She's got like a bonnet on her head. And she has this guy. We're going to call him the X guy because he actually dies. And his name was never given, so he's already been defeated. Now, this X guy promises Kinoshita that he'll protect her. And out of nowhere, after we see some lizards that are in a little pit, they're Komodo dragons, Kinoshita, she pushes this guy down the pit, and it's like a WTF moment because it's like it was an he's gonna protect her. She just pushes him down, so he's gonna die. It's like, what? You see all these Komodo dragons eating him. Oh, it's crazy. She did that just to get his crystal as well as his BIMs and the supplies that were there. So gotta watch out for this woman. She's not to be trusted. She hates all men. Her name is Kinoshita. But again, that's a new character we're actually introduced. Moving on. Now we actually are taken to a different scene with Tyrannus Japan, the Btooom company. And again, we see the chubby guy with the red cap, and he's talking to his bosses, and he's going over the game, and he's talking about, well, his boss is talking about the 3-day models. So they're talking about a 3-day model. Like they're going to keep the background sound, but they're going to make a 3-day model of what's happening. So again, this makes you feel a little disgusted with how they're making this game. They're profiting off of it, but that was a small scene we get to see. But moving on, now we're actually taken to Himiko and Sakamoto. They check the radar to make sure no one's around them, and they change their clothes, they resupply, and interestingly enough, the shirts they pull out have the Btooom logo on it. I thought it was kind of funny because if you remember, I'm using an example, a real life example, if you're watching NASCAR and you're wondering why certain drivers, or pretty much all drivers, wear those NASCAR logos, you know, they're being sponsored. Those are their sponsors. So if you think about it, these kids have Btooom shirts, so they're being sponsored by Btooom, so because there's cameras that are watching them, so Btoom's getting free advertisement off of, even if you're, you know, someone's killing someone else, it's advertisement. I thought it was funny. I'm sorry, I digress. Moving on. Again, we see Sakamoto. He's trying to be kind to Himiko because he's bringing up, well, we need to sleep in different rooms, you know, and since you don't like guys, he points that out because you don't like guys, we gotta sleep in different rooms. And it's kind of a cute moment, it's like he's being a gentleman, but you know, Himiko doesn't want this kindness. In fact, she doesn't want to be alone after all this crap that's happened. She wants to be in the same room as him. So he's like, okay, so you want to sleep together. But that's not what he meant. Not in a sexual manner. He was like, you know, in a comforting manner. Okay, we can sleep in the same room, sure. But, you know, she explodes like, that's not what I mean, you pervert. I thought that was funny. But now we're taking to a different scene. They are sleeping in the same room. And it's funny, Himiko, I don't know which one of the characters came up with the idea. They have a line, a straight line down the middle of the room, like just between the two. And Himiko has one of the supply cases that are up, hiding their faces. And like, one's going to sleep on one side, the other one's going to sleep on the other side, so I thought it was hilarious. Now we are taken to a different scene, actually. Not Himiko so much was talking, but Sakamoto was thanking her for saving him when he was actually battling Musashi. Because if she didn't save him, try to jump in and take out, or at least push away Musashi, Sakamoto probably would have died. So he's definitely thanking her, as well as kind of reminiscing about his past with the online Himiko. So he's talking to Himiko about the other Himiko supposedly that he's married to, and it's getting really like it's an emotional story. He's reminiscing about how he was, you know, how he got married. He's not really saying this so much. You can see like a light flashback, but this was interesting, and it moves Himiko. She's crying, but you know, Sakamoto can't see her face, but she's got her hands on her mouth and she's trying not to cry. And we don't know why she's not telling Sakamoto that she is that Himiko. Right now, Sakamoto is under the impression that this is a different Himiko altogether. So that was, again, another scratch on the head on why she's not saying anything. It's gotten really emotional right now. But moving on, now we are taken to a WTF moment with someone right above Himiko when she's sleeping. Now, it looks like a man with a flashlight. It's not a man with a flashlight, it's a woman. I know, it's really hard because it was a really quick little scene, but yeah, it was a man that was right above Himiko. I said man, I meant woman. But you want to say it's a man. I mean, oh my god. It is a woman that's flashlight over her. But sorry, I digress. Moving on. We see Sakamoto. He wakes up and he uses his radar so many times to see if anyone's around him, but he's not getting anyone's sign. No one's around. Now, Himiko does point out this person had a flashlight, and there's definitely that was someone over them. So Sakamoto takes her seriously and they go looking for this person. Now they don't find anything, and they get in a light argument on splitting up because they actually find a light that's off in the distance. Now Sakamoto volunteers to go first to go check it out, and he says stay behind. She doesn't want to stay behind, but Himiko stays behind, and he sees Sakamoto going right off the distance checking it out. Now he does spot the light. He does see where it's coming from this little private little hideout. It's got it looks nice inside, like someone's been there for a little while. You know, you see food, everything set up. It's better than anything else they've seen on the island. But instantly he assumes it's a trap. I gotta get the heck out of here. This is too good to be true. If I touch something, you know, it might be booby trapped because of how it was set up. And this woman appears out of nowhere with a weapon and attacks Sakamoto. Now she passes right out, but it's how she landed that looked funny. She like landed with her legs spread open. It was like, what? And he notices her left arm has been cut off. That's why he wasn't able to use his radar to find this person. So it's kind of curious how she lost her left arm, but it's kind of interesting. Really interesting, in fact. Now, we are taken to a different scene. We see Himiko and Sakamoto both in this little hideout, and they have this woman on a bed, and they're trying to find out who she is. Now, as soon as this woman wakes up, she's so hysterical. She's like, she hates men. You know, she's scared of them. Get away, get away. Himiko pushes Sakamoto out so she can have a girl-on-girl conversation. And they actually do. And we find out a lot of information, actually. A little too much information, if you ask me. But before I get to that, we do find out this woman does know about BIM. She does know about the crystals, so that's kind of interesting. So is she a player? We don't know yet. We don't know if she's part of the game. But we do find out she's been on the island for 6 months. Her name is Murasaki Shika, and she used to be a nurse. Now, we do go to one of those really interesting stories about how she wound up on the island. Now, apparently she respected a doctor that she worked with. Since she is a nurse, she's going to be a nurse for a doctor, and she worked with this doctor pretty close. Now, this doctor had a lot of problems, I guess, with one of his patients, or, you know, a lawsuit per se. At least that's what it looks like. It was a lawsuit. And you see, well, this nurse, she's altering all the documents to save this guy so he doesn't get shit canned, pretty much. And eventually, I guess the board of directors finds out what happened, that these documents have been, you know, altered and whatnot. And, you know, this doctor that apparently she really liked, wow, he hangs her out to dry and blames her for everything. And then this nurse gets shit canned. The unexpected happened. So, you know, she's no longer working at the hospital. Now, she is so mad that one day, I guess she gets one of those little letters that Sakamoto's mom actually got, and she signs up the doctor to play this Btooom game on this island. But, you know, irony is such a bitch in this case, because someone else signed her up. So now she's on the island with this doctor. Now, you assume there would be bad blood between these two, like they would hate each other or something, or at least just the nurse would hate him. They team up, and they become kind of like lovers because they kiss and whatnot. But as soon as they get 6 chips, and they have, you know, their chips as well, that makes 8 total, this doctor turns on the nurse, uses his BIM to take her out, but she's still alive, but she's missing her arm, so now we know how she lost her arm. Interesting. Now, he does take the crystal from her, and he gets off the island. There's like a helicopter that appears, and he gets off. Now, she's still alive, but apparently she's not getting off the island. So, if you don't have crystals, you literally can't get off the island. But anyways, that's her story. That's Shiki's story and how she ended up on the island, and why she doesn't like men. Now, again, she didn't tell well, I should point this out. Sakamoto isn't in the room, so all this information about the 6 chips, like how people change after you get 6 chips, Himiko doesn't tell Sakamoto about any of that. Just, you know, obviously about Shiki, her background on how she got to the island, just not about the 6 chips. So right now, Himiko is keeping so much crap to herself. You're starting to wonder, does she actually love, you know, Sakamoto, or is she's not letting her guard fully down yet? I'm just putting that out there. Now, we are taken to a different scene. We do see Sakamoto. He's getting prepped because he wants to go find Tiara. Plain and simple. Now, we see Shiki saying goodbye and, you know, take it easy, guys. You know, Sakamoto, protect her. You know, that kind of jazz. But yeah, that's where that actually ended at. So they're leaving to find Tiara. And I guess Shiki is staying behind. She's not going to be joining them. Past the credits, we see a little more. You should have watched this because this is a key factor. We see Tiara, little cutscene with Tiara, with the doctor that Shiki does not like, who got off the island. His name is Date. I shit you not, it's D-A-T-E. It's not Dante, it is Date. That's how I'm going to pronounce it, and that's how it's spelled. So Dr. Date is now with Tiara. We don't know if they're partnered or not. We just know someone wanted him back on the island, and he is pissed about it. But again, that's where the episode ends. As per final thoughts right now, I want to know who put Date on the island. See the wild factor, since he was the winner of the last game? We don't know. Now, as for Shiki, are we going to see more of her throughout this episode? That's interesting. Now that we know if you get rid of the crystal, no one can find you, makes it easier. We know how to take them off now, obviously. But again, I'm curious if she's going to be involved in this series a little more. Now, as for Tiara, we do not know if he's cracked down or not, or if he's joined Date. We don't know. We really don't know. But that is it for my final thoughts. Not a lot there, because, you know, I'm going to leave a little wiggle room. Now, final rating? The rating. I want to give this a drum roll. We got new characters. I mean, that's always a plus. So, new characters, plus. A little story background on these new characters, plus. Battle scenes. No. That was last episode, not this episode. You want to give this a solid 4 out of 5. I'm feeling it. I am feeling it. The build-up's there. The build-up is there. But I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. Too much information, I feel. A lot of stuff was self-explained. We got a cute little drama moment. But you know, it's missing a flavor, like some type of flavor, so I have to give this a 3.5 out of 5. So final rating, 3.5 out of 5. Now, definitely comment down below on what you thought on this episode, and what do you think is going to happen in the next episode. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe above, and again, let me know what you thought about this episode. Now, definitely check me out on Twitter and follow me if you want. Now, I don't have any more walkthroughs and reviews to do for today, so this was generally about it, but definitely tune in for tomorrow. And again, that ends it for my walkthrough and review of Btooom Episode 8. Before I go, I gotta say it. Can't stop the access, but you can watch the feed. I'll see you later, guys.